after Honeywell, I moved to another company called KLA Encore. So that is where I first time I heard the word IIT. So I had 4 years experience. I got around 7 or 8 lakhs package. It was a good package at the time. One fresher, he was also getting same 8 lakhs. So I was pissed off. 4 years experience, same package to a fresher. Which college he studied? What is the special thing? Then I understood it is not about the IIT. It is about his attitude towards learning what made him different. Partnering with the right people is the only strategy which I know. For example, when we started, we partnered with IIT Madras. Then we partnered with IIM Ahmedabad. Then for Guinness World Record, we partnered with the ACT. So like that, we have right partners. So one of another startup guy, his dad was having a small 5 rupee ball company. So he learned computer vision from us and he created a system where it watches for the defectiveness, pulls it, the ball is bad. Simple thing. He was able to make his dad's thing completely automated. We have a lot of people who has got into some job. These are the ways where we measure like what is the impact in positive in terms of your career growth or in terms of your trajectory changes, and then how much they are happy in terms of learning. So
everybody's talking about Gen AI.
Yeah, that is one good thing. So Gen AI, LLM and that stable diffusion, both the type of things will impact a lot in terms of content generation primarily. 50%, 60% of work can be done by it. So it will give the base thing, and on top of the base it will work. If you go to and talk any professor or teacher, 40 hours of work, at least 10 to 15 hours will spend only on this. That will reduce to 1 hour to 1.5. 10x it will reduce. And that is how this will be impacting the whole world.
So Arun, before we start, I wanted to know about Arun Prakash, where he comes from.
After school, I joined an engineering college, like yet another guy. So ideally, I wanted to go into physics. Okay, so I got in one of the arts college, the physics admission, everything was ready. My cousin, he got a job in US. Okay. So my father got my application, he did and threw it and go and study in engineering. That is how I became an engineer. So it is not my choice. I was like every other engineer, I was forced to do it. But when I went into information technology, actually, to be frank, there is no difference between information technology and CS. It is just created to have more seats.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I joined IT, so I started loving programming. So initially I had like a lot of hesitations, or I had no clue on what programming is. I studied from a biology background. So in school, I never touched computers. So there used to be one computer lab. It was treated like a temple. So before going in there, you have to put the shoes, everything out, and you have to walk slowly.
You're talking about 90s.
Exactly. It was the 90s kind of it. And still, most of the schools in my area is like that. Okay. Though we have laptops at everybody's home, in the school it behaves the same way.
Complete those CPUs and
exactly.
Yeah.
So that is how it is. And I used to buy tea for my friend to show the computer to me. Not type. Just to show, I'll buy tea and he'll go on. This is a computer, this is a CPU. He'll tell something, I don't know what it is. This is a monitor, then we'll come back. That is how I was. So I had no exposure to computers or programming. Then in college, the same thing happened. In the first year, one of my classmates, so he was from a computer science background in 12th. So he used to put a lot of scenes saying that he is a super rockstar programmer. Okay. I used to get irritated by him. So I'll tell what is the level of my programming or the knowledge, understanding of computers. So the first year, first semester, there is a programming called mail merge. Okay, where you have to type the name and other things and do the things. So whenever I type A, it will come in lowercase for Arun.
Yeah.
Okay. When he comes and types A, it will come in uppercase.
Okay. On the same
system, same thing. I'll call him, he'll come and he'll touch, it will come in A. This was a mystery for 4 months. Then after 4 months, I understood whenever he presses A, he used the little finger to press shift.
Okay.
That is the level of ignorance I had when I was joined computer science. Then I understood this guy is trying to beat me down. So I took help from another friend. I said, Macha, I don't have a computer. Can you help me to learn programming? He said, you don't need a computer to learn programming. So I was little wondered, how can somebody learn computer without computer? So he said, take a piece of paper. I will teach you the programming. You daily write it in the paper and give it back to me. I'll say whether it's correct or right. So this is our first 3-4 months I learned programming. He taught very basic program, addition of 2 numbers, like that. When he teaches addition of 2 numbers or greatest of 2 numbers, he will give us a homework like that, go and write addition of 3 numbers or greatest of 3 numbers. Then I'll go back and he was my compiler.
Okay.
Okay. So this is how the first semester was gone. First year fully over gone. Second year, I went to computer science lab. So it took 20 minutes to slowly type all the code for the first hello world. Okay. When I ran, it gave me as usual 100 errors. Okay. So you have friends like you, right? So who doesn't know computer? All other friends were there. They were laughing at me. And I took again the help from the one guy who knows computer, and he came and he fixed. And the program came out. I got the output. So my other three friends were very angry on me. How come you alone got the output? We are not getting it. So the similar thing happened in the second lab session. So I was able to do the code. This time I was able to fix the bug, and I did a small program to find the similar greatest of three numbers, and I got the output. My friend said that, hey, he's fluke, man. He got copied from somewhere. The three friends, right? So and the third lab session, we went there after a week, and I was able to do the program. The same three friends said, Macha, you are a genius, man. You know everything in computers. When somebody says to you, you know, right, that girl is looking at you, then you will start falling in love with her. Same thing I did happen. So when they said I am a good programmer, I stupidly believed that I am a good programmer, and I started loving programming, and I started working towards programming. That's how I started my programming career. So I was not from a computer science background, or I didn't have a computer. English was English was a kind of a challenge for me, but I can understand. With this, I started, I went to the subject without interest. But after going into that, I started falling in love with computer science because it exactly mimicked me. I am a lazy fellow in the world. Okay. For me, that I never participated in sports or dance or anything. So this is the one thing which gives you a rock star status without moving your muscle. All you need to think and get output. In the class, you are a rock star. So being a lazy and getting the output was a good thing, and that's how I started loving it. And after the college, so during the college itself, I used to bunk the college and go to a lot of college competitions, symposiums. So first 2 years I didn't win any. Last 3 years I won every other competition where I participated. And just because of that, I got my first job, Honeywell. Okay, when I went there, the guy who interviewing me was saying that, hey, you are the only person we want to meet. How somebody can be so lucky? I couldn't understand his question. He said, like, in aptitude, you got single digit mark out of 60. In programming, you got 29 out of 30. Okay. So we want to see how somebody is so lucky. Then they understood, okay, I didn't like aptitude, but I love programming. And that is how I got the job. So this is how I went into my first job as Honeywell, as my first job. After Honeywell, I moved to another company called KL10 So that is where I heard the word IIT. So do you believe, like, a lot of people like me who hasn't heard about IIT till they are in the 4 years of work environment. So still a lot of people in my area don't know what IIT is. Okay. So the reason why I heard IIT at the time is, like, so I had 4 years experience. I got around 7 or 8 lakhs package. It was a good package at the time. I forgot something like that. One fresher, he was also getting same 8 lakh. So I was pissed off. 4 years experience, same package to a fresher. Which college he studied? What is the special thing? Then they said they studied from IIT. Then I was again very angry, saying that how IIT can become or what is the reason why they are paying? Then I understood it is not about the IIT. It is about his attitude towards learning what made him different. Okay, that piece I didn't know at that time. Okay, so that's how I got introduced to first time IIT. Then I worked in another startup called Kaleido in Bangalore. Then I worked in PayPal. When I was working in PayPal only, I bumped in this idea of GUVI.
So PayPal India or PayPal US you were working?
Both the places.
Okay.
So the primary location was PayPal Chennai. Then I used to go to San Jose and then come back whenever it is needed. That's how it is. Okay. So this is my background.
So what's the story behind founding GUVI and how did you came up with this name?
Okay. So I'll tell the GUVI name. GUVI stands for grab your vernacular. Vernacular means it's native language. So my favorite language is Tamil. Yours might be Hindi. Somebody's might be Gujarati. So that should be your imprint, which is your identity. Okay. So grab your vernacular identity is the idea. So that is how we started it. And this started is not, I want to start this to teach my juniors programming. So they were in Madurai, I was in Chennai working as a developer in PayPal. So this is in the early stages of YouTube in 2008, 2009. So At the time, using YouTube for education was a kind of a different thing. People were looking at cat videos, Charlie bit my finger, all those things were the popular thing. So since I was in PayPal, I started recording videos on C, C++, data structures, design patterns, and since it was for my juniors, I didn't care about the English. I taught in Tanglish. So Tamil plus English mode. I started explaining. Now it has become a common thing. So at that time, almost everybody around me looked me as a villain. Say that like you are spoiling the kids. You are taking the communication from them. So you are not doing. I said like, see, I am a developer. Even if I were deaf or dumb, it doesn't matter if I get the output. So that is what a developer wants. And so let them first learn programming or the tech. Then they'll manage with their butler English and then they get a job. It doesn't matter. Okay. If you're able to explain the code, that is good enough. For that, that English, everybody has it. That knowledge, at least in India, most of them have it. So that is what I said. Like, and I started this as an NGO. I wanted to start this as an NGO. But when I was starting this, I had friends from, I was doing in Tamil, right? Since I was working in PayPal, one of my friend, he is from Bangalore, he did it in Kannada. Another girl from Andhra, she did in Telugu. Another guy from Gurgaon, Abhishek, he did it in Hindi. Okay, so like that we were doing it, but we couldn't sustain it for a long time because we had work pressure from PayPal. And so there is no revenue or nothing from there, so I couldn't give anything to them. Okay, so the motivation for others is not same as you because you have your own thing, but others, they might have other challenges. They need family time, they need work and other things, right? So I couldn't do it. So that is where I thought, okay, if we convert this into a company, so it could generate revenue and we can at least pay some value to their time. Okay, whoever brings in. So that is how this idea started, and from YouTube I moved this to a company and registered this as a company with IIT Madras. So when I met Professor Ashok Junjunwala, then it formed into a full-fledged thing.
Okay, and just out of excitement, how these videos used to travel from you to these juniors and how they used to stream those videos that time?
Okay, so I said that I did for juniors, but the fact is none of my juniors watched it. Okay. Not even a single person watched it. So first 3 months nobody watched it. Okay. It didn't help. Then in the third or fourth month, all of a sudden I got a good spike in YouTube. Mm-hmm. I was wondering, is there an exam or something which is coming in? All of a sudden, why they are watching? When I checked the demographics, most of the traffic came from 3 regions: US, UK and Singapore.
Okay, not in India.
Not in India. Nothing in India. So this confused me a lot because the video is in Tamil. Why somebody is watching from there?
And how organically they have reached.
Exactly. So when I started interacting with them, at the time very less users, right? I started interacting with them. I understood either they went for a degree, which is MS or MBA, okay, or they are working somewhere in some companies. So all of them loved to understand the basics because their basics was not that good, and my way of explaining with that analogy was very interesting for them. So because of that, they liked it. That is where I understood it is nothing to do with my college or my juniors. So every engineering college needs the same help. Okay. So that is how I started it.
Okay. What inspired you to focus specifically on vernacular languages for tech education? Because this is something new which I came across, because tech and tech languages are in English. I mean, English Correct. People started these languages and those were built in English. How did you thought of doing it in vernacular languages?
Okay. When you are asking the question itself, you used matlab. Okay. Let's assume if I know Hindi well, we would have spoken in Hindi much,
English,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we use English only when we don't have the connect. Yeah. Okay. If there is a possibility to connect, our natural way of connect is to our mother tongue or the common language in that. The same thing happens in every MNC as well. If you go to the MNC, if it is an official meeting where everybody is there from across location, they'll talk in English. If it is a common group meeting within the discussions, they'll talk only in their respective language. Okay. So the language has nothing to do with the software. Okay. What it makes is, it makes the understanding better. Okay. So typically in learning any hard subject, it could be math or it could be science or it could be programming, anything. So people hate those things because there is no reasoning cycle in that. So you need some amount of extra effort to understand the subject, and when it comes via English, it becomes double effort. Okay. If you remove one, people would be able to focus on the actual content and they'll enjoy it as well. Okay. So this I realized when I was working in PayPal, or I worked in all the companies, right? Either we talk in Tamil, Okay, if all Telugu guys joins, majority they'll talk in Telugu. If it is a Hindi speaking team, they'll talk in Hindi, and we'll manage to listen here and there. That is about it. So the reasoning cycle is very good when you talk in your own mother tongue, and for tech learning, it will be much more beneficial. So that is the idea in which I said, like, for a developer, logic and reasoning cycle is the key thing, whereas the language is a kind of patching here and there. So that is good enough for to learn tech. So the contents, everything would be in English. When I said display contents, the explanations would be in the native language. That's how we did it.
Okay. Because learners are also much comfortable when they can ask questions in their own language.
Exactly.
Because if you restrict them to ask the question in English only, they won't be comfortable. They won't be asking actually.
Exactly.
And when they won't be asking, they won't be getting it.
Exactly. So I've seen this when we do the classes, I've seen a lot of people. So till sometimes I purposefully try to do it in English. People will be so quiet. When I switch to Tamil, when I was mentor, people will start, okay, relax, and they'll start asking questions.
They're comfortable in their language.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were the initial days challenges you faced when you start GUVI, and how did you overcome them?
Okay. So initial days, I mean, I was a techie, right? So building a platform is very easy for me. But I didn't know how to run a business or get a user. For example, first 3-4 months, I had only 4 users, I guess. Okay. So there is no users. I built everything.
Users means learners, right?
Learners, in this case, learners. Okay. So there is no learners. I didn't know how to reach all those things. So I thought, okay, I went to a couple of colleges to do it. For example, I went to one arts college and I met the HOD. From the morning I was sitting, and then in the evening she gave an appointment. I was saying that, she said, Arun, so in our college, most of them will either get married or they'll go to a job which pays 7,500. You are asking 2,500 for just for learning itself. So it will not sell. She said, our point is valid, so I didn't do it. Then I went to engineering college. Some of the engineering colleges, they ask for commission. Okay. So that is where I was not also convinced with it. So I walked out of it.
What was the initial vision behind GUVI, and how has it evolved over time? Because I guess companies, when they're in the initial stage, they have a different vision and vision, and vision evolves with the time. So what has changed from 2014 to 2024?
Okay. So there are 2 parts in our vision. Okay. One part is the vernacular learning. That hasn't changed anything. Till date it is there. We are holding good. Actually, we are expanding a lot. That part is holding. Second part is, if you look at the GUVI's name, GUVI Geek Network. We want to build a geek network. So I know that I am not the only person who can impact. If I can bring in a lot of people like us, we can impact a lot of people. So we were able to achieve that to a certain extent. For example, right now we have around 1,000 mentors from different places who's coming, working professionals who are coming and sharing it. But ideally, it should be like at least 1 million mentors. So that is the difference. 1,000 versus 1 million is the one difference. We are still going there, and we'll achieve that place soon. Okay. 4 months back, I went for one of the meeting, a general hackathon kind of it. I went as chief guest. Okay. There I met a guy. He came and thanked me. He said that he was previously working in a company. He joined as a part-time mentor in GUVI. Now GUVI is paying more than what he was getting it. So he resigned it, and he was also doing his parallelly driving his own startup. So that freedom is one which I wanted to give it for more people. So when I saw that one person, I was so happy to know it. So that is the vision part of it, but it is just started. It is not even achieved. Not even 10% we have achieved.
How do you measure the success and impact of GUVI's program on learners and communities?
Okay. So when it comes to the learners, the ideal way where I want to measure is the learning has to be for pure joy. Okay. So one of the ways where we measure it, what is the reach of our content in different tier 2 and tier 3 cities. We have able to, for example, 2 months back, we did one hackathon with the Tamil Nadu government. So we got around 10 students from a city, not a city, from a tier 2, tier 3 city or village, whatever they call it. From that place, he came in and he wrote a code on generative AI. So when I saw that, when he started, he didn't know what a data set is. Okay. Then after learning in us, he created a data set. The beauty is, he was telling he was recording his voice, and he converted that voice as a data set, and he was calling all the friends and asking them to sit and record, and then he collected this. So this awareness is what I want. If he does it, it will be much more beneficial. So one of another startup guy, his dad was having a small 5 rupee ball company, the rubber ball, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he learned computer vision from us. And he created a system where it watches for the defectiveness in the using the computer vision, and when it goes, it has a motor and it pulls it, the ball is bad. Simple thing. He was able to make his dad's thing completely automated.
Okay, and he was a learner.
He was a learner.
Okay.
Okay. And a few months back, I went for a Internet Mobile Association meeting in Mumbai. So there, one of the students, he came in and he said that I have started a AR VR startup. Okay. Thanks to GUVI. So when I heard this is the pure joy of learning. So this is one way to where we measure the learning. Second way is like we have a lot of people who has got into some job because they are not exposed. They want to get after college they will get into BPO job or any other non-technical job, non-coding job or non-IT job. Okay. And after a period of time, they want to come back to here because of two reasons. One is salary and the other perks of it. Okay. But they don't know how to do it. So how many people we are able to transition that? So one guy I met, he was a supervisor in one of the chicken poultry companies. He was an engineering graduate. For salary, because at the time he didn't get a job, he went there, and 5 years he was a guy who was managing all the poultry, and he learned programming. He became a full stack developer now.
Okay. And he was, what was his branch earlier in engineering?
I think he was into mechanical, I guess. Okay. So like that, these are the ways where we measure like what is the impact in positive in terms of your career growth or in terms of your trajectory changes, and then how much they are happy in terms of learning.
Arun, I have seen a trend of, we promote higher education programs. So I have seen a huge jump in students opting for bachelor's in computer application. And these students are coming from non-computer background, as in from arts and commerce. They didn't have, so universities have a bridge course to accommodate them. But how difficult is for learners coming from non-technical background, let's say arts or commerce, to learn these programming languages?
I used to earlier believe that it is very hard. Okay. Because
everybody believes this.
I learned in a hard way. So my belief is like only if you know data structure, you are a computer science guy. That's how I used to say it. Because I worked in product companies and that is a holy grail there. But in reality, it is not that. If you are able to, especially after Python programming came in, so everybody was able to at least attempt programming because it is very simple and learnable. And there are other two segments branched out from it. One is data science, where everybody can become a data analyst. Okay, which is kind of a basic role, but that gives an opportunity to get into it. So that is one thing. Second, another place where I've seen a lot of people getting into the IT thing is UI UX. Okay, so UI UX became a key thing. For example, when UPI came in, your mom and my mom, my grandma.
Everyone is using.
Simple difference is UX, nothing else in that. So if you click it and it is. So if you're able to change the UX, every product will become smarter one. So even the same machine learning was there for past 20 years. ChatGPT came with a very beautiful UI. Okay, that UX was awesome.
That was the reason why it was.
So these two branches has become good thing. For that, it is not heavily tech loaded thing. So these kind of things will come up a lot as we go on. For example, DevOps would be coming up where you don't need too much of programming, but you need to understand the tools. So you need to put in effort and interest. There is no question in it. So without effort, it will not come in. But it is not impossible kind of it. It's like this Don's statement. It's not mushkil. Okay, you can do it.
Okay. Can you discuss any specific technologies or tools that have been game changer?
One is generative AI. So we use generative AI a lot, not just now. So actually, we were one of the early guys who got access to OpenAI. So 3-4 years back itself, we got the API. So when we got the API access before even the public thing, so we built a simple UI and the systems around it where the learner can go and ask question and he'll reply. This is one place where we used. Second one is we have built a some of our learners are from tier 2 city, right? They want to talk to the people. So we can't have a one-to-one learner for everyone to teach English. So we have built a system on top of AI. If you ask it, it will have a conversation. Okay. So it's like you're having a girlfriend, but it's not as sweet as their girlfriend, but it is kind of similar to it. So this is a technology we do. Another one is we have built an online compiler with lot of intelligence built around it with AI intelligence. You paste a code, it will tell you what the error is. You have to fix the error. Okay, so that
will help you fixing that error.
Exactly. It will guide you. It will not fix you. It will guide you to do it. So these kind of things made the learners' life easier. So that is one of kind of game changing for us in terms of the current thing. And earlier when we started it, so we being a technology learning company, we are the one who started the streaming for the low end bandwidth. Now everybody has a streaming platform because that has made us a service. So in 2014 or 15, our streaming platform is appreciated by Google, and we were invited to Google I/O during that time to showcase this to other people on the low bandwidth thing. We were invited to Google I/O to 2019 to San Francisco. I went there and we were explaining this to them. So like that, in all the times, technology was helpful in different formats for us.
Still remember in 2013-14, if you want to play a video on YouTube, then you have to pause it and you have to go
Buffer.
it will buffer, and then you have to come back and then you have to watch it.
Exactly. So even similar thing, we had something called HLS. Okay, HLS is a streaming format which is supported by Apple, which was publicly, and then we took that and we used that for streaming. So that made the streaming way better than like this non-buffering style. So that's how we solved it. And another important thing, like this I want to highlight. Like we did a Guinness World Record. Okay, for teaching 1.2 lakh learners online in computer science programming. So for that, typically the previous record was around 2000 because it was physical. It was held by a UK company. Okay, and a few other companies were trying it sheer physically. They were not able to go beyond 4,000, 5,000. Since we had the online scalable system, we were able to accommodate like your Big Billion Days. We were able to accommodate, and then we were able to do it for 1.2 lakh learners simultaneously. So that is where another key place where we want to thank technology for helping us to do it.
So what was the highest CPU usage, core usage that would have been on those days?
That we had like, I mean, at the time we were spawning around 27 EC2 instances on T2 level.
Okay.
In 1 hour kind of moment at the peak.
To make the traffic
exactly
available. Okay.
And in continuation with that, we are planning to do another 2 Guinness World Record. Probably you should join in the second Guinness this year. So August 31st we are planning for it. We have submitted the proposal to Guinness World Record. This time we are planning to teach generative AI for women. Okay, where they'll have a hands-on exercise for women in generative AI. Okay, we are aiming for 5 lakh women. So if it comes in, that will be good. The same way we are planning to, that is the first Guinness World Record for this year we are planning. Second one is September 30th we are planning for. There we are planning to build on the Indian language dataset. So Tamil, Telugu, Hindi language dataset, Konkani. So all the language dataset we want to build it and we want to open source it. So that datathon we are planning to do it. So those 2 things we have submitted. If it works, it will be good. And so for this, so far AICT has committed with work with us. NASSCOM is interested, and Google we are working, and we being part of HCL is committed. So 4 companies are committed for it, 4 organizations I would say. So I wish you also join us.
We would love to join this, and we would love to make our learners also, we'll help them to join this.
Yes, please.
What future technologies do you believe will revolutionize the EdTech industry?
For EdTech, it's Gen AI, very simple. So
everybody's talking about Gen AI.
Yeah, that is one good thing. Like so, Gen AI, LLM, and that stable diffusion, both the mod type of things will impact a lot in terms of content generation primarily. So most of the time for EdTech, the time is spent on creating the content. Even if you're a teacher or a thing, so your time is spent on selecting the questions, correcting the answers, okay, and preparing the PPTs. These 3 can be eliminated easily with the LLMs. Okay, I mean, I eliminate in sense 50%, 60% of work can be done by it, and obviously it will not be perfect. So we have to go back and fix it from there. So it will give the base thing, and on top of the base, it will work. So let's say if you are spending, if you go to and talk any professor or teacher, in 40 hours of work, at least 10 to 15 hours will spend only on this. That will reduce to 1 hour to 1.5 hours. 10x it will reduce. And that is how this will be impacting the whole world. Not only that, like so as we progress, we can have a personalized assistant learner kind of it, where it understands everything. Like you have a pet dog, right, who understands very well. The same way you have a model, you can host a model and have a model which understands you, and tomorrow when you go and ask, it will reply to you saying that, hey, on the day you said it. So only thing is you are not sure that to your girlfriend or wife.
Okay, and can we also create through generative AI, a teacher who can understand the way we learn and can help us?
Not that much. It will not be equivalent to a teacher for sure. Even after 5 years, it will not be, I'm sure. But it can help you to ask some of the smaller level of problem solving questions, like repeated questions, already solved problems. It can help. Any new creative problems, they say it will solve. For sure, it will not be able to solve for next 5 years. For the simple reason, the data set is not for having there for connectivity.
What strategies have you been effective in expanding GUVI's reach within India?
So,
Because you coming from non-marketer background, that was the reason why we put up that question.
so the only strategy or the thing is like, so partnering with the right people is the only strategy which I know. Okay. For example, when we started, we partner with IIT Madras. Then we partner with IIM Ahmedabad. Those two things. Then for Guinness World Record, we partner with the ACT. So like that, we have right partners. So even now, when HCL came in, so they want to acquire us. We are a HCL company now.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they came in and invested in us, so typically not only HCL, lot of other companies came in for acquiring us. I literally rejected everybody. But I was very much interested in HCL for two reasons. They understand the IT land segment very well. They are the pioneers there. And they are very good in terms of EdTech. So they have Shiv Nadar University, they have Shiv Nadar schools, Vidya Gyans, all those things. And when I met Roshni, she is the chairperson of HCL Corp. So her interest towards impact and learning is very visible, and I like that. So that those kind of partnerships is the one which is very key for me. And even after getting into the HCL, so we run independently, but we get a continuous support from two people. One is Pawan. Okay, Pawan Danwar, he is the CFO for HCL Group. So he literally talks to us every week. Okay, at a CFO level, it is not needed for him to do, but he talks and guides us. The same way, Abhinav Ghosh. So he is the Chief Strategy Officer. So he also talks to us and he gives a lot of inputs. For example, tomorrow we are going to have a 10th anniversary. Okay, he is the one who designed how the flow has to be.
Okay.
So that has nothing to do with him. He has no thing. So he was not well. Despite of that, he arranged a meeting and he makes sure that everything is done properly. Like that, we have, when you partner with the right people, they'll be more than happy to give the commitment beyond the money and other things.
Yeah.
So that is the only strategy which I follow.
And HCL is the first company who got computers in India in 80s.
Exactly.
Why I know this? Because my father was a government servant in Delhi government. So HCL procured a tender from government to get computers in India.
Okay.
First they got the books. The books for all these government servants. So my father used to add this book through which he has to learn computer. And I still remember that he said it is impractical to learn computer without having a computer. So HCL bought the first computers in India in 80s.
Nice.
How do you customize your content to cater to different regional and cultural need across India? Because this is the biggest challenge that we have for any company that speaks one language. Because even I'm not sure how many languages do my country have today.
Okay. So, I mean, to give a context, like in GUVI, we have all the languages that you have it in your rupee note. So we support all the languages.
Okay.
That is the thing we have. And for that, we have a separate team. Okay. There is a person called Jagan. He heads the entire team and he makes sure that we have it in different languages and there is a complete process established. So typically what we do is, I mean, though it is a painful manual process, we follow that. We get the content either in any one of the languages. Previously, it used to be the first native languages we used to get and we used to translate that to English. Okay. Then we'll translate to other languages. There is a team who sits and validates the content. One part is the content part. Second part is the language part. Okay, the content, tech content has to be spoken in the right way. So that also we have a team of people. So we have a team of around external people, around 1,000 people who validates it and who ensures that the content is right. Because I may not understand every other content. So we bring in the respective language, Tamil or Telugu or any other language people to validate it. So that is how we do it. And it is a painful thing. It takes around 3 to 4 months to convert one course to another. But still we take the pain to do it. So this is how we used to do it earlier. So now after this Gen AI came in, so we are able to build our own model to translate from one language to another language. It is not like a Google Translate API, which transliterates everything. So here we are tech content, right? For example, if you want to data science, it should not translate data into one word. And the model has the nuances of understanding the technology stuff. And it translates at least to 75% the content. Rest of the things, correction is done by the individual team and then take it further. So that is how it is. It's partially manual, partially tech driven, generative AI driven, and then we solve that way.
Okay. How do you handle setbacks and failure in your entrepreneurial journey?
That is very, very hard thing. So during the time I met one of the founder, okay. So I was talking to him and I was very low and I told him, sir, this is not going fine. He said that for an entrepreneur, you should have a bowler's mindset. Okay. I didn't understand what is a bowler's mindset. So you watch cricket, right? He said, yes, sir, I watch cricket. So for a batsman, he wants to hit six in all the balls. And for a bowler, he wants only one ball in the complete over so that he can take the wicket. So all you need is have one win in all the experiments which you do it. Let the other five go bad. It doesn't matter. If you're able to get that one ball, you are winner. So when he said that, I was actually relaxed because during that time, whatever we try, it will fail. Okay, so it gets irritated like whatever I do, it's failing. So then after hearing this, I was able to console myself and when I said this to other fellow entrepreneurs, I said whatever he said is right. That is how it will be. So then I started accepting the failures and now I was in the complete bowler mindset.
Are there any plans to expand GUVI's services internationally, and what challenges do you foresee in this endeavor?
So actually we are already expanding it. With the help of HCL, we are going to Vietnam and African region. So we are doing it in 5 international languages. One is Vietnamese. Okay. For that, we are planning to partner with Samsung. Okay. I mean, after the content is ready, we will be partnering it. That is already in progress. Second one is in African region, we are going in languages like Arabic, Spanish, French, and there is a popular African language called Swahili. Okay. So before that, I also don't know that is Swahili, SWHL. Swahili was the language where we are going that, and we are the first one to create content in Swahili. Okay. So we got an expert from there. There is a team where we are partnering with, again, the same partnering methodology. So I'm partnering with the team and then taking that content to that region as well. So that is how we are planning to do.
What has been most rewarding aspect of your journey with GUVI?
So it is not one activity. So every time when I meet the learners and they give the replies, that will be most rewarding activity. In terms of kind of overall number or achievement, so when we had this 30 lakh learners in our platform, that was a huge thing. So think about it, like 30 lakh people who are interested in learning in native language who was not served earlier. So we were able to serve it. So that is kind of a rewarding moment. And even now, so we are not known to throughout India. So only to South India, if we can impact 30 lakh learners, if it is in India, it will be at least 50 to 60 lakh learners or at least 100,000 learners, 100 lakh learners we can impact. So that is kind of a rewarding moment for us in terms of the outcome.
One last question for the camera. If you can answer the camera for this question. Sure. All these learners who are coming to pursuing these programs, bachelor's in computer application, I want you to tell them that what language do you speak doesn't make any difference. It's Correct. Just the output that has to be right.
Exactly.
And there's no problem in speaking right English.
Exactly.
So nobody checks your communication in engineering background. They only checks your output. So if you can tell Sure. the learners and ask them that they can pursue, if they are coming from any background, any language that they speak.
So you might have seen my English, right? So even after 20 years of working in industry, my English is this bad. So if I can survive and do things with my English, so you can do way better than me with normal English. And as a fresher or a beginners, you will be always forgiven for your language, but not for the output. So if you're able to show your output, okay, people are very much happy and open to take you in. So I have spoken to many CTOs and CEOs. They want people who works, not talks. Okay, there are some jobs which needs talking. Except that, rest of the other jobs needs the problem to be solved, whatever it is at hand. If you're able to solve the problem and show the output, and you'll be the best person in the company and they'll love you as well.
Thank you, Arun.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, man. It was so good.